If you are retired at 41, how much do you actually spend every month? That's the question I get asked all the time. So today I'll show you exactly where our money goes, line by line, and what financial freedom really looks like when you are not chasing a paycheck anymore. But before I start writing numbers on the board, I want to share a few things that made this possible. Because if you get these things right, your monthly budget won't control you. You will control it. My name is Sushant and I retired last year at the age of 41, just from salary and smart investing. I live in North Carolina, a family of 4, no mortgage, no debt. Our entire life today runs off the portfolio we have built together during our working years. So mostly it is ETFs, dividends, and a few rentals. But here's what I learned very quickly. The numbers on the board behind me only make sense because of the decisions we have made before I retired. If you skip these steps, no spreadsheet in the world could save you. So let's keep this board away for a little bit and we'll come back to it after these steps. Decision number 1, we paid off our home early. We took a 15-year mortgage, but we didn't wait for 15 years. Every extra dollar, bonuses, tax refunds, even an overtime pay went straight to the principal. And we did a lot of extra payments and we cleared it in about 4 years or so. Number 2, we cleared every loan and every credit card. Freedom feels very different when you owe nothing to no one. Credit card loans, car loans, student loans, random little balances, we wrap them up before stepping away from work. Early retirement is not about the best interest rate, it's about peace of mind. And number 3 is we build the emergency fund. Roughly around an year of expense sits in a high yield savings account. Roof leaks, health bills, insurance hikes, all come from there. That buffer keeps our investment untouched when life throws surprises. And number 4 is fixing the big stuff while you're still earning. We changed out the old appliances, serviced the HVAC, took care of the things which might break later. Because when you are still earning, the repair is an inconvenience, but after the retirement, it feels 10 times heavier. All right, let's build this board together. These numbers represent our average monthly expense for the year 2024, not just one random crazy month. I actually went through all our credit cards, our bank statements to compile, and it took quite some efforts to get this data together. So if you haven't already, please subscribe. Only about 8% of you watching have subscribed, and your support really keeps me motivated to create more detailed breakdown videos like this. All right, let's start with the one that surprised me the most. Food. Between groceries and eating out, we spend around $940 per month. Oops, $940 per month. Groceries alone are roughly $500. We mostly do home cooking, but eating out still sneaks in about $440 per month. And next up is travel. Freedom means flexibility, but it also means plane tickets. Local trips, family vacations, and India visits average around $1,167 per month if you spread it across the year. All right, let's talk about the home. Because even when your house is paid off, it is never really free. Our biggest chunk here is the property tax, around $6,600 per year. That comes to around $550 a month. And every time I think it's high, I remind myself that that's what keeps our schools running, our roads paved. So it's a bill that stings a little bit, but it makes sense. Next up is home insurance, around $3,000 a year or $250 per month. That one has gone up quite a bit in last couple of years. The weather has been rough across the country and the insurance companies are adjusting the premiums. So it is one of those things you just have to plan for. And then there is HOA fees, which are pretty modest, around $60 per month. It covers our neighborhood maintenance, the community areas, and it keeps the place nice without we having to worry about it. Next one is utilities, which covers power, gas, and water combined. It comes to around $250 per month, depending on the season. Summers in North Carolina can make that AC run a little too often. And then we have this small stuff that people forget to count in. Internet is $55, phone is around $70 per month for 2 lines. And then the last one is lawn and pest control, around $80 a month, which keeps the yard in check. And I keep a small home maintenance fund, around $70 per month. Looks like I forgot to add it here. So I just add maybe $70 here. So yeah, I have that $70 that covers small fixes, filters, occasional handyman visits. So if we put that all together, and even with a paid off house, our home still costs around $1,300 to $1,400 a month to maintain. Now let's talk about one of the biggest questions people have about early retirement: health insurance. And before we even get into the numbers, let me clear up something I get asked a lot about. Some of you have wondered if I'm just living off my wife's salary. And the short answer is no. Our living expenses are fully covered by our investments. We have been financially independent since I retired last year. But yes, my wife still works. And right now our family is on her employer health plan. And honestly, it's just practical choice. Her plan is excellent and far more affordable than the private ones on the market. She loves her job and has been climbing up the career ranks for years, and she doesn't want to change it. But if that changes tomorrow, we're completely prepared. We have already priced in the ACA plans, which will cost us around $20,000 a year until we turn 65. And after that, we'll move to the Medicare, which will cost us around $10,000 a year. So this step isn't dependency, it's a design. And that's what I want people to understand about financial independence. It doesn't have to be an overnight switch. You can build a bridge that fits your family, your comfort level, and your timeline. Now let's look at the rest of the section. So right now, our health insurance runs around $600 per month, plus another $100 or so for out-of-pocket doctor visits and prescriptions. And because I'm a big believer that health is wealth, we also included around $200 a month for gym and pickleball membership. That is part of our mental and physical fitness. So altogether, it comes to around $900 per month for our health and fitness. Let's move on to the next part of our life cost: transportation. Even though we don't have any car payments right now, cars are those sneaky categories that never fully disappear. You may pay off your vehicle, but insurance, gas, maintenance, that keeps that line alive. So our car insurance for 2 vehicles costs around $1,800 a year. So roughly $150 per month. I work with a local agent who shops around every year, and that has saved us quite a bit. Last year, the car insurance was around $2,600. So if you haven't checked your rates lately, it's worth doing that. And then there is gas, about $100 a month. We don't drive a lot anymore. Most days are local errands, kids' activities, or pickleball courts. But it's still a cost that adds up quietly. And we budget around roughly $85 to $90 for maintenance and registration. That covers the oil changes, tire rotations, annual inspection. It's easier to treat them as a small monthly line item than get surprised later. So even without a car loan, transportation comes to around $340 a month. All right, let's talk about kids. Easily one of the biggest and funniest budget line for any parents. Back in the daycare years, we were paying around $1,400 per kid per month. And with 2 kids, that's almost 10 years of daycare payments. That's roughly $140,000. And no, they don't even remember that. Thankfully, those days are behind us now. And when that daycare bill finally disappeared, we used that money for something we all will always remember. We went on a 2.5-month trip to India. But these days, it's just the after-school classes that comes to around $300 a month on average. It's higher than the national average of $700 per year, but we see it as an investment, not an expense. So yeah, $300 per month for now. And I still can't believe daycare costs more than college. Next up is the little leagues, everyone's favorite, the Amazon. That's about $250 a month. It's those small things that somehow show up at your door before you even remember ordering them. And then there are my analyst subscriptions, paid newsletters, and some personal development programs. I spend around $100 a month on that. I see these as an important investment in myself, and they help me learn more about money, leadership, and growth in general. And finally, gifts and charity, around $75 a month. And together, all these small things add up to around $434 a month. Could I trim it? Sure. But honestly, this is the part of the budget that brings small joys. So that's completely okay for me. Now, let's talk about future goals. These are not monthly expenses, but they are always in the back of my mind. The big long-term goals. Things like kids' education, their wedding, and maybe a new car in about 7 to 8 years down the line. For education, we have earmarked around $100,000 per kid. That's roughly what it costs for a good 4-year program here in North Carolina. And if they want to go to Stanford or MIT, amazing. But I also want them to earn their way there, maybe through scholarship. That's part of the lesson too. And the last one is the most interesting one, the weddings. We have planned about $100,000 each kid. And to all my Indian friends out there, don't kill me on this one. I know we have big fat weddings, but we just want it to be simple, meaningful, and focused on people, not on production. And honestly, we are still a long way away from all of that. My little one is just 6 year old, but that's the plan for now. We are not saving any fixed cost every month for these, but they are part of our long-term investing strategy. That's why you'll always see a small investing bucket in our budget. It's how we prepare for tomorrow without worrying about it today. And if you are still here, congratulations! You are among the top 5% of the viewers who made it to almost the end of the video. Thanks for sticking around. All right, it's time to see the total. Our average monthly expense in 2024 was $5,420 a month. No debt, no mortgage, just a simple, intentional life that runs smoothly because we planned for it through our retirement. Freedom is not about having millions, it's about needing less and living fully. If this gave you a real glimpse of financial freedom, please hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one. Your finance friend Sushant, signing off.